Ryan Walters is the state superintendent of schools for the state of Oklahoma. Now, we've covered him in recent weeks because of his allocation of $6 million worth of taxpayer funds for the purchase of 50,000 Donald Trump Bibles. These are Bibles endorsed by Donald Trump for which he gets a royalty, a kickback on. These are 50,000 Bibles that he is now flooding. Ryan Walters is flooding the state of Oklahoma with, forcing them into the classrooms of every student. I want to give you an update because he's gone one step further. He is now using his authority and his position of power to force teachers in every classroom across the state to play the following video of him offering a prayer for Donald Trump. A clear violation of the First Amendment rights of every student and every teacher, but also a violation in his responsibility as the superintendent of schools, which the second video will speak to. It is a video of Walters in an interview on CNN, where the anchor made it very clear. Listen, your students, the state of Oklahoma is ranked 48th in the nation in performance, but yet you are committing all of this energy and all of these resources to getting a classroom to pray for Donald Trump and to read the Donald Trump Bible. Now, there are multiple layers here, and let me set it up before I give you the video because I want you to think about this as you watch the video. There are a couple of things that are happening at the same time. Number one, this is a loyalty oath. This is a pledge. This is Ryan Walters making it clear to Donald Trump that I will do anything and everything to serve you, dear leader. That's number one. Number two, this is a clear play for Christian fascists in this nation, Christian nationalists who want to force the nation to be Christian, which as a pastor, I can tell you is impossible. You cannot force anyone to be Christian and do it authentically because the Bible does not give you that framework. You simply can't force people to become Christian. But it's not even so much about the Christianity part. It is the compulsion and the control. They want to be able to force people, students, women, everyone to do what they say and control the range of their possibilities. But there's something else that's going on here. I believe that what Ryan Walters is setting up, he's trying to set up a Supreme Court case to overturn the 1962 and 1963 Supreme Court decisions that removed prayer from the classrooms and removed the Bibles from the classrooms, recognizing a clear separation of church and state. This is what I believe that he's doing because he is clearly stirring up the possibility of lawsuits as well as action from parents on the ground. There's a petition with over 15,000 signatures calling for the impeachment and the removal of Ryan Walters. And so this is exactly what he wants. He wants to be able to tell Donald Trump, I will serve you no matter what it takes. He also wants to move the ball forward for Christian nationalism in this nation. And he wants to do so by, I believe, invoking or causing a Supreme Court case to occur in which the Supreme Court right now is 6-3 majority, conservative majority, would most certainly overturn the previous decisions, opening the door for Bibles to be forced into the classrooms all around this nation. Let's take a listen to this prayer that he offered, and I want you to just observe the amount of commitment that these people have to their dear leader, Donald Trump.
We've also seen patriotism mocked and a hatred for this country pushed by woke teachers unions. We will not tolerate that in any school in Oklahoma. We want our students to be patriotic. We want our students to love this country. And we want all students' religious liberty to be protected. I will now say a prayer. And to be clear, students, you don't have to join. But if you so wish, I'm going to go ahead and pray. Dear God, thank you for all the blessings you've given our country. I pray for our leaders to make the right decisions. I pray in particular for President Donald Trump and his team as they continue to bring about change to the country. I pray for our parents, teachers, and kids that they get the best education possible and live high-quality lives. I also pray that we continue to teach love of country to our young people and that our students understand what makes America great and that they continue to love this country.
Listen, I don't normally go about the business of critiquing someone's prayers, but I can tell that this is a person who doesn't pray in private, right? I'll just leave it at that. If you are a person who prays, if you know, you know. That's number one. Number two, this is such a pathetic prostration before Donald Trump. This is Ryan Walters using the authority that has been given to him by the state of Oklahoma to prostrate himself before Donald Trump. This is like in olden times when a new ruler would come into power and all of the various leaders across the land would come and offer a tribute. Ryan Walters has offered Donald Trump a tribute in terms of $6 million worth of purchases of his Bible, as well as now having the students of Oklahoma pray on his behalf. This is what he is focused on versus the fact that his state is performing 48th out of the entire nation. Listen to this interview that he just had with CNN that outlines this very fact.
Let's talk about Oklahoma history, because Oklahoma is 48th in the country when it comes to education. It's ranked 48th in the country. Your critics say the money that you're spending on the Bible, I'm putting Bibles in every classroom, you've asked for $6 million, should be spent in other ways to better educate the students, because they're very worried about where Oklahoma is ranked in the education system. What do you say to that?
We are in the middle of a turnaround here because we are following President Trump's agenda. This is the agenda for the entire country. We have school choice. We have merit pay. We are rejecting this left-wing ideology in the classroom. We are promoting American exceptionalism. And look, we are pressing students forward to see academic outcomes improve. We've seen record improvement. Record numbers of schools are improving here in Oklahoma. That's what you're going to see for the whole country under President Trump. And again, you continue to see critics. Yeah, they act like I'm controversial because I'm creating change in a status quo system that has failed kids and failed parents.
It's hilarious to me. He has been state superintendent of schools for nearly an entire term. And yet he is still positioning this as a turnaround, and he's trying to, no, you have had time, Ryan Walters, to address some of the core underlying issues for the state of Oklahoma. And what you have done instead is use your power as the state superintendent of schools to further enrich Donald Trump with a tribute of $6 million of purchases of his Bible, as well as now forcing the students in the state to pray for Donald Trump. And listen how he seamlessly conflates anyone who opposes this with leftism, as if it is a leftist idea to have the separation of church and state. That was enshrined in the Constitution. That is an idea from the founding fathers. That is something that did not come from the left, even though those of us on the left do support the separation of church and state. And here's why I support it as a pastor. I support it because which version of Christianity are we going to go with, Ryan? Clearly, you would oppose the liberation theology that preaches that we should care for the least of these, that preaches that we should care for the immigrant, that preaches quite literally what Jesus taught us to preach. You would oppose that because you would dismiss it as leftism. So the reason I oppose this, or I support rather, the separation of church and state is because I know without a shadow of a doubt, the type of religion that always gets into power is the type of religion that can be used in service of powerful people. When the Bible is very clear, sorry, I don't mean to preach to you all, but the Bible is very clear that power should be used for the least of these. Take a look at Luke, the 22nd chapter, the 25th and the 26th verse, where Jesus made it clear that those in power should use their power for the least of these. That's not the type of Christianity that they're going to put into the classrooms of Oklahoma. They're going to put the type of Christianity in the classrooms of Oklahoma that promotes mass deportations, or what is really should be known as ethnic cleansing of Latinos. The type of Christianity that they would put into power in this nation is the one that exploits the least of these and does so for the benefit of the richest in this country. It's the type of Christianity that wants to charge you for your health care instead of having a health care system that simply heals people. It is the type of Christianity that is quite honestly antithetical to who Jesus was and is. So the reason I support the separation of church and state It's because I know that every time we have seen in history where religion gets into bed with the state, with government power, we've seen some of the greatest abuses of power and the most extreme examples of violence throughout world history without fail. But when you elect people whose commitment is more to Donald Trump than God, by the way, let's just be sure. This guy's commitment is more to Donald Trump than God, no questions asked. And when you elect those type of sycophants into power, you should expect the kind of clown show that we're getting. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe to this channel, Really American, where we will speak truth to power no matter who doesn't like it.